Sometimes, the most unforgettable moments are the ones that barely last. At Ahmedabad airport, an Air India Dreamliner prepared for takeoff. Everything appeared normal. The weather, the crew, the passengers. It was just another flight on the schedule, another set of stories in the air. Families had said goodbye, some with tears, some with smiles. There were students, travelers, workers, and people returning home. No one knew that what was meant to be a regular flight would become a tragedy remembered forever. At the heart of this heartbreaking event is one chilling detail. The flight lasted only 32 seconds. Just 32 seconds from the time the aircraft's landing. Gear left the runway to the moment it came crashing down. It's a number so small we barely register it. 32 seconds. Less than a commercial break on TV. Less than the time it takes to boil water. Less than a single full minute of life. And yet, for everyone on board, it was the last moment they would ever see, feel, or breathe. The CCTV footage captured it all, cold, clinical, and emotionless. Yet behind every frame of that video lies a storm of emotions. The takeoff begins. The engines roar, the wheels lift, the aircraft climbs. And then something goes wrong. A dip, a struggle, a flash, and then impact. What happened in those 32 seconds? What did the pilots see? What did the passengers feel? Was there panic? Confusion? A last-minute attempt to regain control? We may never fully know. But here's what we do know. That flight represented more than just a machine in the sky. Inside that plane were entire worlds, people with dreams, destinations, duties. There were mothers, fathers, sons, daughters. There were plans waiting to be fulfilled, birthdays to be celebrated, jobs to be started, and lives that were just beginning. And then, silence. The crash shook more than just the earth. It shook families. It shattered hearts. In an instant, loved ones went from waiting for a phone call to receiving unimaginable news. The kind of phone call no one is ever prepared for. How do you explain this to a child whose parent was on that flight? What do you say to a mother who just spoke to her son minutes before takeoff? What words bring peace to someone who watched their world collapse in 32 seconds? The tragedy of this crash is not just mechanical. It's deeply human. In times like these, we ask questions. We demand answers, and rightly so. Was it a technical fault? A miscommunication? Pilot error? Weather disturbance? These are not just technical inquiries. They are questions that determine justice, accountability, and future safety. But beyond the investigation reports and aviation codes lies a softer, heavier truth. That no matter how advanced we become, life is still fragile. Technology may evolve. Planes may become smarter, faster, stronger. But in the end, it only takes a moment for everything to change. Let's pause here for a moment. Think about the last time you were in the air. Sitting by the window, watching the clouds, maybe feeling a little nervous but trusting the system. Now imagine that your journey lasted less than a minute. Would you have done anything differently? Would you have sent one more message? Said one more word? Smiled one more time? It's a painful reminder that we are never promised a full flight, a full day, or even a full life. And yet we carry on, because that's what humans do. We grieve, we question, we remember, and we move forward. But we never forget. We must not forget the lives lost, not just as victims of an aviation disaster, but as individuals who deserved so much more time. We must not forget the families, the friends, the children left behind. For them, this tragedy isn't just news. It is their daily reality. We must also not forget our responsibility, as citizens, as travelers, as officials, as a society. Every crash demands reflection. Every investigation must lead to improvement. Every error must result in prevention. We owe that much to the people who boarded that plane, never knowing it would never land. To the crew who served, to the passengers who trusted, to the loved ones who now carry grief instead of luggage. We offer more than just condolences. We offer remembrance. We offer resolve.
Because if 32 seconds can change so many lives, then we must change too. We must value time.
We must live fully. We must not delay words of love, acts of kindness, or the courage to pursue what matters. We must not take safety for granted, on the roads, in the skies, or in our decisions. The loss of this flight is a painful chapter in our collective story. But it also offers a message, written in the silence that followed the crash. Life is unpredictable. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. And sometimes, the clock runs out faster than we think. So if you're watching this today, breathe a little deeper. Hold your loved ones a little closer. Speak your heart more freely. And when you next look at the sky, don't just see clouds. Remember the souls we lost up there. Remember their stories. Honor them with how you live yours. Because in the end, it's not the length of the journey that defines us, but the depth with which we live each moment, even if, like them, we only have 32 seconds.